In 1971, a simple table tennis match between American and Chinese players shattered 2 decades of diplomatic silence, proving that sports can act as a bridge where traditional diplomacy fails. This is the story of sport as statecraft. In 776 BCE, the ancient Greeks established the Olympic Games at Olympia, creating the Ekakeria, or sacred truce, which allowed athletes to travel safely through warring city-states to compete in the Altis precinct. This early experiment in neutrality provided a rare window of peace in a region defined by constant conflict, establishing the foundational principle that sports could serve as a functional geopolitical tool for competitive city-states. Centuries later, the 1936 Berlin Olympics served as the first major global stage for state-sponsored propaganda, where the Nazi regime utilized Leni Riefenstahl's innovative cinematography to project an image of a modern, organized, and peaceful Germany. However, this calculated facade was directly undermined by the performance of Jesse Owens, whose 4 gold medals exposed the inherent contradictions in the regime's racial ideology, proving that individual excellence can defy state-controlled narratives. Fast forward to 1971, when the invitation of the U.S. table tennis team to Beijing served as a face-saving mechanism, allowing Nixon and Mao to initiate high-level contact while bypassing rigid ideological deadlocks. This ping-pong diplomacy paved the way for Henry Kissinger's secret 1971 visit, fundamentally altering the Cold War balance of power by exploiting the existing Sino-Soviet split to isolate the Soviet influence in the region. By 1995, South Africa utilized the Rugby World Cup as a symbolic instrument of national reconciliation, with Nelson Mandela famously wearing the Springbok jersey to unify a nation fractured by the systemic brutality of the apartheid era. The 2008 Beijing Olympics marked China's definitive coming-out party, signaling its arrival as a global superpower through massive infrastructure investment and a display of industrial and cultural might on the international stage. In 2022, Qatar hosted the FIFA World Cup, spending an estimated $220 billion to diversify its national image, a strategy often labeled as sports washing to project soft power while inviting intense international scrutiny of human rights records. Economic studies by Baade and Matheson reveal that the promised long-term financial windfalls of hosting such mega-events are rarely realized, often leaving host nations with white elephant stadiums and significant debt burdens that outweigh tourism gains. The 1980 Moscow Olympics saw a massive geopolitical protest, with 66 countries led by the United States boycotting the Games to condemn the Soviet invasion of Afghanistan, demonstrating how sport remains a theater for international sanctions. The 2014 Sochi Winter Olympics, costing a record $51 billion, highlighted the extreme length states will go to brand themselves, even when the economic cost-to-benefit ratio remains deeply unfavorable to the domestic population. Today, the International Olympic Committee maintains a stance of neutrality, yet the collision between athletic competition and global human rights issues makes complete political detachment increasingly impossible in the modern era of interconnected global media. The transition from the ancient sacred truce to modern soft power projection reflects a shift where nations now prioritize nation branding and domestic political capital over the traditional economic justifications for hosting global tournaments. While the primary value of these events has moved toward cultural attraction, the distinction between soft power and coercive influence remains a subject of intense debate among global historians and political scientists alike. Ultimately, the legacy of sport as statecraft lies in its unique ability to capture the attention of billions, with the 2022 World Cup final reaching an estimated 1.5 billion viewers, making it the most watched political stage on Earth. As we look to the future, the integration of sports into national strategy will continue to challenge our understanding of sovereignty, as athletes increasingly become global political actors in a world where the boundary between the stadium and the state has dissolved. Archaeological evidence from the Altis in Olympia confirms that the sacred precinct was not merely a sports venue, but a highly managed geopolitical space designed to enforce the truce between competing Greek city-states. The Nixon-Mao transcripts from 1972 explicitly referenced the ping-pong opening as a deliberate diplomatic maneuver, confirming that sport was used as a calculated signal to end 2 decades of total diplomatic isolation. South Africa's Truth and Reconciliation Commission reports highlight that the 1995 Rugby World Cup was not just a game, but a deliberate government policy to foster national unity in a post-apartheid society. Sport continues to evolve as an instrument of statecraft because it provides a unique, globally recognized platform that forces nations to engage with the world, ensuring that the legacy of these events remains central to modern geopolitical history.